So,
Sunday Showcase, made possible by a public service grant from the National Endowment for the Arts and Bristol Myers Company in association with its divisions.
Yeah. All rise, open your eyes, no need to explain. I got a homie from the east and I'ma tell you his name. Never hang around lames, that's a part of his game. And if you show deep respect, he'll show you the same. Jeff undercard boxing, shook the world when he came. A lot of cats is playing, but his hands are insane. You can get steamrolled if you stand in the way. He a yardie from Flatbush, you cowards his cat puss. We used to feud like Bishop and Q, but he'll fuck you up quick if I give him the cue. From the city of Midwood, the south central part of New York, next to Bensonhurst and Barrow Park. If it's a problem, don't even say shit. Just face this when you come across the Bay Bridge. No tolerance for BS or fake kids. Your blood clot crying. Just stop trying. Is Jeff Undercard prepared for the assignment? He bringing a appliance so cowards can't fight it. He might yoke you up if he feels slighted. He's spreading out toxins. It's undercard boxing. Yeah. Mad love and respect.
salute. What's going on, fight fans? This your guy, Undercard in Boxing. And it's late night. I know everyone's probably sleeping, but just wanted to talk a little boxing. I haven't been here for a little while. A lot of things have been going on in the boxing world, and I'm excited about it. And I'm not sure if I ever did this in my first one, but I wanted to give a little introduction to myself. So, Undercard in Boxing was created because I saw a need where a lot of fights were happening, but a lot of people weren't unable to find out where those cards were, which platform they were being shown on, and fights were happening. And if they weren't a really big event, like Charlo Canelo, no one would actually pay it any attention. And I thought we were doing an injustice to the fighters who are sacrificing, putting their life on the line for our entertainment by not at least paying attention or knowing their names, whether it's the guy on the A side, the B side, the fifth card, the fourth card, the first card when no one's in the stadium. Those guys are just as important, especially for the state of boxing. If you love something and you want to see it grow, you have to nurture it from the ground up. So created my platform to just inform everyone, be a place where, if I'm looking for a fight and I don't know where it's going to happen on, I can hit up Undercard in Boxing. I can go to Undercard in Boxing for that information, whether it's someone that I know that's fighting on the card, or I'm just interested in a particular fighter. I want to keep up with what they're doing per se. So just giving a quick introduction to myself, back to myself, for anyone who's come across my platform, wants to know what I'm about, why I'm doing this, why Undercard in Boxing was created. It was to give people on the undercard or the not named fighters a platform where they can be seen, they can be shown, and they can get the just due that they deserve, because they're putting their life on the line for our entertainment. With that being said, let's talk about some news going on in boxing currently. We just got word that Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin have agreed to fight on ESPN. The details were not worked out as of yet, but they have some tentative dates. I think that's awesome for the sport of boxing. Shakur Stevenson, a champion in two weight divisions, 126 and 130. Recently moved up to 135 for the title eliminator, knocked the gentleman out, and now has put himself in position to collect the WBC belt, a belt that he's never held in the previous two weight classes. So this gives him an opportunity to do that and also become a three-division champion. Frank the Ghost Martin, I believe they have similar records, but Frank started a little later in the game, I think around age 18. Um, his prior sport was football, and now he transitioned to boxing, works with the likes of Derek James. He's fighting title eliminators. He's been ranked as the number one contender for a while now, and now he gets an opportunity to prove himself versus the likes of Shakur Stevenson. I think this is great for the sport of boxing. I think this will be ESPN's biggest fight to date, Shakur Stevenson and Frank the Ghost Martin, because the fight will be on ESPN. Hopefully it's at a pay-per-view event. Hopefully it's free TV. That way millions of people can tune in and see exactly what's going on and give these fighters their just due. Support them in any way you can. If the fight is in your area, try to buy a ticket to reach out to go and attend this event. There are possibly two dates, one in Las Vegas and the other in New York City. I would prefer the New York City one only because it's closer to me, and I would probably make a strong effort to be at that event. And I'm not gonna right here talk about how I see that fight playing out. But what I will do is say I'm giving the kudos to these gentlemen for making that fight happen and for putting on for the state of boxing. You know, they could have said that they were different sides of the streets. They could have went to a purse bid. They could have did whatever it could to make an excuse for not taking this fight. You know, there were plenty of excuses already laid up in place. But instead, both guys have decided to agree to a fight and step into the ring to face each other for what is the most prestige championship currently in boxing, which is the WBC. I know everyone has their take on who they prefer or who they like, but the WBC belt has been around and a lot of champions have held that belt. For the likes of Frank Ghost Martin, he recently fought Artem, bronze medalist in the Olympics. Now he gets to fight a silver medalist also in the Olympics. So he's definitely taking two step-up fights back to back. And that's what we love about boxing, an opportunity for a fighter to prove themselves. And once given the opportunity, because that's something that's usually missing. Pardon me for the background noise. I'm outside doing a little garbage. When you got responsibilities as a homeowner, these are the things you have to do. So another fight or potential fight, not yet been made, but has the potential of taking place sometime in December. Bubu Andre versus the likes of David Benavidez for David Benavidez WBC interim title, which would also put him in place to become the mandatory for the likes of Canelo Alvarez. Because according to the WBC ruling, his mandatory is not due till 2024. So if this fight was to take place in December, and the winner of this fight will then get to be in place to fight Canelo Alvarez if he is to remain undefeated. I mean, not undefeated. If he were able to beat Jermell Charlo on September 30th on Showtime pay-per-view and hold on to his undisputed titles. So that makes it an even bigger fight because what's at stake is supremacy at 168, super middleweight, for the winner, because they immediately get a shot at the winner of that fight. Could be Jermell Charlo, could be Canelo Alvarez. As it currently states, I believe Canelo is the favorite, only because he's been at that. He is the king at that weight class. He's beat numerous people at that weight class. Jermell Charlo moving up two weight classes from 154 to 168, daring to be great, has come in as the underdog. There has been some reports out that he is struggling to make or to put on the mask at 168 because 168 might be the weight, but when these guys rehydrate, they don't fight at 168. They normally fight bigger than that weight class, which may be a problem, may not be. I'm not sure. We'll only see on fight night. Um, but rooting hard for a great fight. The undercard fights are something that, out of like a dream. Mario Barrios versus Ugas, Erickson Lubin versus Jesus Ramos, and Eric Garcia versus someone. I will definitely have that information up for you guys the night before the fight or the day of the fight. How to watch it, how to purchase that on pay-per-view. Like I said, that fight's on Showtime. Wanted to know what you guys would think about a Bubu Andrade fight versus David Benavidez. I think this is a great fight for 168. I would have preferred to see David Benavidez versus the likes of David Morrell. Guys both on the same side of the street. Guys both aiming for the same thing, which is supremacy at 168. It's been said that they won't fight him because he hasn't proved himself. But how can you prove yourself if you never get an opportunity to fight? David Morrell, Cuban champion. I'm not sure what he did in the Olympics. I have to do some research. But comes from that Cuban school of boxing. Hit, not get hit. Moves around very well on his feet. Since working with Silas, he has been showing a lot more power. I think he stopped his last two opponents. He's been just doing everything possible to prepare himself for that next fight. And all he's waiting for is the opportunity. I think another fight that possibly could be made is at 168 is a Caleb Plant versus David Morrell. Caleb Plant coming off of the loss to David Benavidez, where he had a great and excellent showing. He didn't get stopped like he did in his previous two fights when he fought Canelo Alvarez for Undisputed. He didn't get stopped. He did gas at the end of the fight, or the accumulation of punches that he was taking started to take its toll on him and forced him to not move as much as he did in the beginning of the fight. But I think that's a great fight because it's a style matchup. Both guys who can move, who can dance. I think one has a little bit more punching power than the other. But I think all in all, that's a good fight for boxing. Something that is maybe not a main event, but a co-main event to a bigger fight. If you can put two super middleweights on a card, you can put David Benavidez versus Bubu Andrade, and then Caleb Plant versus David Morrell as the co-main. I think if you were to put that fight on pay-per-view, I think that's something that the people would pay for. I think that's worth the price tag. Only because both fights have significant meaning. Because David Morrell, who is the WBA regular champion, where he gets the mandatories at 168, he would have an official title, which would also put him in place for those belts. Unfortunately, he's the WBA regular, and the only good fights you would have to be monitored. What up, Okello? Morning. Good night. My fault. I said good morning. Good night, brother. How you feeling? That's exactly what I was going to get into too, because his anyone who fights him is usually ranked in the top 10 of the WBA. So, but we've seen them move people around just to put them in line to fight. That's why I wanted the Plant is not ranked anywhere, and with the showing that he had against David Benavidez, there's a possibility that they could put him in the top 10. All you need is to drop a bag off here and drop another bag off there, and before you know it, they'll be champ. I mean, he'll be ranked just in time for that fight to be made, or like my boy L Dubs, who does a wonderful job of following the ranking systems and predicts what fights are going to happen next. You can see that he'll be elevated you know, higher than he normally was, and they'll make him somewhat of a champion or something, or put him in the top 10, top 15, and just enough that he makes a fight. He won't get a Benavidez or Canelo fight. Yeah, well, listen, he doesn't need to get a fight at that division because I think if you look at it, he's pretty much like the David. I mean, excuse me, he's like the Boots Ennis of that division, where those guys are eventually going to leave, and he's going to be the one who's still going to be around, and he will reign supreme after those guys have played out. Now, we will all say that he didn't fight the guys before him, but that's just boxing. You can't fight everyone. He can still be the one who rules 168 for years and years to come. And you know, I haven't heard that what's his name? Triple G is retired. But what you think about a fight with Morrell versus Triple G? I think that fight plays out. They say that Triple G got an indestructible chin. You think Morrell has the power to shake that chin up a little bit? Man. Yeah. Hey, man. I'm trying to put the link in there, man. So I gotta keep typing. What's going on, B? Bruce Gas Boxing. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. 1 second, fellas. Yeah, trying to put the link in the chat. There we go. Yeah, you guys are up late, man. You guys don't sleep? Some of y'all work the night shift. I'm out here doing garbage in my backyard. They got this new policy where you got to put everything in white garbage bags for recycling. So everything I put out in black and gray bags, I got to transfer out now so they pick it up. Because I don't want this garbage sitting on my side of my house for another 2 weeks. They stingy about recycling over here. Recycling does not come every week. But hit that link, man, so we can just talk. I was just gonna be blabbing until this garbage was done. So I can hear it in the background. That's what I'm doing. Let me see. Can you do garbage in my yard too? Hey Karma, how you doing? Sure. Why not? Send the address in the private chat. Yeah, so I definitely think that with regards to Canelo and Charlo, I don't think they're doing the right job of promoting this fight. I think they're thinking that Canelo is Canelo and he's just gonna do an amazing job and everyone's gonna. It's 9:30 in Houston. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And it's 10:38 in New Jersey. Copy. Yeah, man. So yeah, I don't think that they're promoting this fight enough. I think they're resting on that Canelo used to be a big draw, used to be, can generate 800, to 1 million people to watch the fight because he has a country behind him. But, Mexican fans have been really pissed off with Canelo because of the likes of the people he's fighting. And I think that's going to be a factor when we look at these pay-per-view numbers where they're expecting, 1 million, 1.2 million, 1.5, but because they didn't promote it correctly, I mean, why is it so humbling and friendly? It seems like they're talking shit when they're not around each other, and when they are, it's more like very cordial, very respectful, very, hey, how you doing? Oh yeah, I'm going to punch you in the face, and you're not gonna like it. Man, cut that shit out, man. Hit the link, y'all, if y'all want to come up and chat. Oh my God, let me hear what you got to say. Yeah, I think they're assuming that Canelo is just this big draw, and they look. I guess if they're basing their numbers based on projections of what he did with Triple G, because what he did against who was the last guy he fought? John Ryder. What was that, like 500? 500K pay-per-view, and that I don't know if you're paying a guy 100 and something million, and you're trying to reap your money back, by putting him in certain fights. Are you promoting this fight well enough to gain that money back, or are you just gonna rest that Canelo's Canelo? If he's having a fight, it's just gonna do great numbers. Tell me what y'all think. Let's see. And does anyone have any updates? I heard as it pertains to Devin Haney and Regis Prograde, they're looking for a venue somewhat in December, which means the original October 28th date that Regis had signed for has moved. And I wonder, because it was moved, does that mean someone is not willing to sign the contract to make that fight happen? Or are they really just negotiating and negotiating in good faith to make the fight happen? That Devin Haney is no longer fighting Regis Prograde, but trying to fight, someone else at 140 because, they couldn't get the money worked out in time to please Devin Haney. I hope not. I'm speculating. I have no inside information. I have no information pertaining to that fight. All I heard was what Eddie Hearn said. And, you got to take Eddie Hearn to December. And that's what it is, right? Because Eddie Hearn, he doesn't lie to fans. He doesn't lie to the people. He's a straight shooter. He says, Wilder, H-Town, my brother, how you doing, sir? Salute, salute, salute. Link is in the chat, fellas. We late night talking boxing. I'm just here doing some garbage, so I feel like I could talk to y'all for a little bit. Hello? Oh, there we go. Good night, good night. We see you. What's up?
Hey, friend.
What's going on?
What was the last thing you said? I missed it.
Oh, do you think they're doing a good job of promoting Canelo versus Charlo?
No, it's gonna flop too.
Why do you think it's going to flop? Because of the weight difference, or just because?
Not only that, I think they need
I'm listening.
they need to fight more. Like they're too like I like it that their behavior is good, but it's like have some oomph. Like it's not they don't sell in the fight for me.
Yeah, they're too respectful for your liking. Yeah. I mean, if we saw anything as it pertained to Ryan and Tank, there was a kind of dislike there in the build-up, and that led to 1.2 million pay-per-views. And if you look at Bud versus Spence, that did what 600, 700, and they were cordial. I think we need to spice it up, fellas.
Yep.
The proof's in the pudding. Tell him you're gonna punch him in his mouth, and tell him his mom to stay home, and tell him you're gonna break his jaw, because that's what gets people interested. That's what gets people fired up, and they pay the money to see if you're gonna back up all that talking. But do you think what's going on with Boo Boo? I mean, Boo Boo and David Benavidez, because I keep hearing he hasn't signed the contract. Then David Senior says Boo Boo hasn't signed the contract. So what's going on with this contract thing?
I don't know. Who hasn't signed? I believe if I believe anything, it's probably Andre.
I don't know,
but we've been here before, just earlier this year with David and Morrell. Where they were like so for sure about to fight, and then that never happened. So
true. It also happened with Jaime Munguia and David Benavidez. Yeah. So I'm starting to think that
guys are scared
of the Mexican monster who almost got outboxed by Caleb Plant. What's there to be scared about?
Caleb Plant did well for 5 rounds. If you
7.
gave him all 5, he still not would have not won. So
You didn't give him that 12th round where he was throwing bombs?
if you gave him all 5, he still didn't win.
That's true. I didn't say he won. I just said he almost got outboxed. And I think when he saw David Morrell's footwork, he was like, there's no way I'm fighting this Cuban missile
Well,
that can move around and punch me in the nose.
he did have a lot of help from the ref. He was anytime David got going, he got stopped. So I mean,
I think that's a fighting tactic. You know, clinching is part of boxing. When used
true,
correctly, it's effective, and
but
that's why you don't
that
see
was
referees getting
excessive.
involved.
That was
Man, it
excessive.
wasn't Devin Haney. All right, let me stop. Let me stop.
Shade.
Let me stop before I get my flag on my page before somebody goes and be like, report me for inappropriate, slander or something. Uh, but even that fight, we thought Regis and Devin Haney was going to be announced on the zone upcoming fight card, and
I have a
now that's
feeling. I
both to
have a
me.
feeling. I have a feeling he's
Speaking.
gonna fight Tank.
Ooh.
Cause
Now that would be the ultimate pivot.
well, they were sitting down at the table before, and now this is like, okay, you can't find a venue nowhere in the whole entire United States. Come on, there's another reason why that's broken down.
So who you think Haney is stalling out Regis to fight Tank?
I think so, because they were talking earlier this year.
They were. I heard contract or not contract was signed, but initial talks had begun. I won't say contracts were set, but initial talks had.
Then Regis out of nowhere was talking about fighting AB. So it's like, what's really going on?
Well, I
That
think
just came out of nowhere. It's like, were you not even thinking about fighting Devin?
I think he's thinking about what brings him the most money, and with AB being the WB silver fighter, it kind of puts him not a mandatory, but he can be placed in a position that where he can defend his belt against AB, and the WBC would approve that type of fight because he has a silver belt, which a lot of people don't know about. I think he won that versus the lawyer when he fought the lawyer. Remember, everything is kind of promotion based. Yeah. Listen. Yeah, I could be up for 5 years, but if I got the power behind me to make it happen, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But AB does make money and puts a lot of butts in the seat, win, lose, or draw.
I can see that.
So maybe everyone's trying to be a businessman, but this is a business, man.
I think he's trying to get as many checks as he can, get out the door.
Regis?
Yep, because that's what he was saying, and he was like, "Oh, why he didn't go to top or PBC?" He said, "I'm trying to get the most money."
Right, not trying to fight the hardest fight
ever at 140.
True. I'm not gonna argue with the man who knows what he's in the business for. It just makes it a lot more straightforward. I think a Regis versus Keo fight does some numbers, even if it's on Top Rank. What you think?
Yeah. But the only thing is, he was saying if he would go to Top Rank, he would not get as much money as if he were on Matchroom.
Yeah. Did you hear that another Matchroom fighter popped dirty?
Yep. It's because they're the only ones testing, honestly.
You think so? I think it's because Eddie Hearn is shooting everybody up when he signed the contract.
I mean, maybe that too, but.
All right, sorry, Eddie Hearn. Sorry.
They're the only ones testing. He's gonna sue you.
Oh, for sure. I got the money though. I'll just come back on a different name.
Yep.
I'll be like a troll. I'll just delete this one and start a new account.
I'll be like, "Oh, girl, I'm sorry if you took it that way, but I didn't mean to say it."
Which old girl?
McCaskill.
Oh, yeah. Listen, let's see if she gets through her fight with Jessica, whatever her name is.
She not. They let to take that money from her. They let to take her. Wait, no, she lost her belts. She don't have no belts, right?
I thought she was undisputed at one
I think she
for
lost him in her last fight.
versus Cameron. I thought she
She
moved up
lost
in
in
weight to
December.
fight Cameron. Yeah, Chantel Cameron.
I feel like she lost her last fight. I can't remember correctly.
Okay. So, and the state of boxing is in a fantastic place where there's dream fights, there's fights being made, there's fights being talked about. I think this 2023 is the best year of boxing. What's your say on that?
In a long time.
Say
A
it again.
very long time. I was about to start watching NBA again.
You bored?
It was getting we were down bad for a minute.
Yeah. Well, you never give up on a sport that's been around for ages and eons, and the start of everything. You just gotta kind of ride the wave. When it's hot, it's hot. When it's slow, you take a step away and then come back. Like, all right, I'm back now.
Yeah. But you miss out on so much.
Well, it's true. And then you got all this ducking talk. You got all this, businessman talk. Everyone is now an expert businessman and knows what their split's supposed to be. To me, I just want to see y'all fight for the entertainment. Working the money out in the back room, not where the fans themselves are the ones who get to see all that. Anthony
Yeah.
Lathan, salute my brother. How you doing? That's just how I feel. You know, when guys are being signed these contracts, I don't like that they put their business out on TV, how much they're getting, because now you've made me a target. You've literally made it that I can't go where I need to go or do what I need to do because someone knows that I make X, Y, Z amount of dollars. So now you put me, my family's life in jeopardy because you want to report that I made X, Y, Z amount of $1 million.
I feel like they all do
Now,
it.
yeah, I don't know when it became like public knowledge that contracts needed to be disclosed. I prefer the days when people made their money in silence.
And they
You know,
started needing leverage. Because, like, if
Mm.
you don't do the numbers, like, put butts in seats, you got to be like, oh, well, I do get paid this amount. So, because that was Bud's whole thing for a while.
Oh, Bud's a whole different animal because he stayed somewhere where he felt he was being mistreated and then told everyone after he left that it was the worst place to be at. It's
Yeah.
like, yo, bro, but we was over here because of you. It's like, yeah, but it's
Yeah.
bad, bro. Get out. Huh?
And now you see the same things happen to Shakur.
Well, I guess they're cut from the same cloth, so we're just going to wait for Shakur. I think someone said that this is his last fight with Top Rank.
Is it though?
That's what he said. That's what he said from himself. He said this is his last fight with Top Rank. So I'm excited for that. Shakur Stevenson, a free man, allowed to go on any platform and fight. That's a lot of interesting fights. Maybe we do get Tank versus Shakur next.
Maybe. No. Next.
Yeah, after Frank
No,
Martin.
we're getting Frank, and then after that,
Yeah, well, it's 2024. It's a brand new year.
that's true.
Year of possibilities. Super fights.
They're gonna be fighting once a year. They're gonna go back to fighting once a year. Watch.
Tank is definitely fighting twice a year because he's going to fight January and then close the year in December. Might even get Errol and Bud in December.
I thought it had to be this year.
With the Bomac situation, who knows
Facts.
what's currently available. But
We got 4 other coaches. Remember, Greg King said.
true. That is true. Thank you for jumping up here and spending some time with me. You made this live a little bit more fun and interesting. I'm gonna hop off. I do a live every Saturday in the morning, just breaking down the undercards and the upcoming fights. I've seen you there before, so
Yeah.
7 in the morning. I'll be early.
It depends. It depends on what time I get up. Honestly.
Copy. Not a problem. Thanks for pulling up.
No problem.
And everyone in the
Talk
chat,
to you later.
salute. Yep.